Today on Beardo and Weirdo, it's a crazy one. We have Jeremy Wagner from Broken Hope. This is the guy who successfully sued Ross Halfin, one of the most famous photographers in the world, and won. And you won't believe why. Ross Halfin, the guy who shot all your favorite bands, Metallica, Aerosmith. He shot the farewell show for Ozzy. All those photographs from the Ozzy farewell show, those are all Ross pictures. You won't believe what just happened in a court in Illinois.
Woo! We finally found somebody with more credits than the king of credits, Craig Gass.
Family Guy, King of Queens, Sex and the City.
We know, Craig!
One episode of Las Vegas.
Roll the episode. Green Bay, Wisconsin, and Anaheim, California. It is me, Mr. Chris Kale from Five Finger Death Punch.
And I'm Craig Gass, the comedian from Family Guy, King of Queens, Sex and the City. We are coming to Green Bay and Anaheim to do Beardo and Weirdo Live, January 10th at the Epic Event Center in Green Bay, and then we're flying to Anaheim to do the Grove of Anaheim, January 24th. Get your tickets for both shows at getgas.com. Getgas with 2 S's.com. We'll see you there.
Man, news has been blowing up this week in the world of heavy metal, Mr. Craig Gass.
I was shocked by it. I mean, this guy, and we're about to be joined by Jeremy here in a second, but Ross Halfin, if you don't know, is the guy who has shot almost all of your favorite bands. I could almost say any of the most iconic photos of Metallica were shot by Ross. Aerosmith, all those amazing photographs from Ozzy's farewell show in Birmingham that you saw where everybody was being assembled for, okay, now we'll just get all the Black Sabbath guys. Okay, now just everybody who's been in Ozzy's solo band. Okay, now just all the singers. And that was Ross Halfin directing everybody, directing traffic and running that crazy photo shoot of all the most iconic people in rock showing up for Ozzy's farewell show.
And going back to like me growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
I had Ross's pictures of Motley Crue all over my walls back in the day. He was in every single magazine. I don't even know which one specifically, but I remember growing up and seeing this name. And then when we went out with Metallica, Ross was out there taking photos of Metallica and Five Finger Death Punch out there on the road. So he's out there somewhere. My picture's out there.
There's many
courtesy
people,
of Ross.
Many people I know who are respected photographers in the rock industry now who all got into it because of Ross, which is why this story just does not make any sense to me. I can't wrap my head around this. What Ross admitted to in court, it doesn't make sense.
And this dude is so legendary. Like me as a musician, I grew up wanting to have my picture taken by Ross.
Absolutely.
And that dream came true.
Absolutely.
Out on that Metallica tour.
Absolutely. Because in your mind, when you hear that Ross is going to be in the pit shooting you, you're thinking,
you
oh
know
my
who
God.
I'm looking for.
Yeah. And you're thinking, I'm going to be on some kid's wall now.
Absolutely.
Just like the photos I had in my wall when I was a kid growing up. Now, because Ross Halfin is shooting me. And this story, I'm telling you, it's crazy. And we got the guy, and he's joining us right now. Man, I have not ever understood death metal. It just never clicked with me. Chris, huge fan of heavy shit. I've never gotten that heavy. I mean, Stuart Little's one of my favorite movies. You know what I'm saying? So I've never been into death.
You can like both, Craig.
Okay.
It's all right. You got to balance it out somehow. We can't just walk around looking like this all the time. We got to balance it out too, you know?
But I'm telling you this, man, after this story that I read that blew my mind, not only am I open to checking out death metal, I am specifically open to listening to whatever Jeremy Wagner is doing. I think I could even sing backup vocals on a new Broken Hope song. I am so into Jeremy Wagner's story right now because this guy has the most amazing story that is breaking right now everywhere. I first saw it when a famous photographer in Seattle posted on his Facebook page a few days ago, and he said, I am shocked to hear about this story. It's so disappointing. And it was about Ross Halfin, famous rock photographer. I clicked on it and I was like, what is the story? And they went, what the hell, that Ross Halfin had taken advantage of somebody, admitted in court, which is crazy. The fact that he took advantage of somebody and then admitted it in court was crazy. And the story is that he passed off some photographs as his own, and then the next day, Chris texts me and says, "Dude, have you heard about this story about this about Ross Halfin?" I said, "Yeah," and he said, "We should try to get him on the show." And Chris reached out to Ross, and Ross said he couldn't make it.
Yep.
But
and originally I was like, oh, he's going through a bad time. I met him before. Let's get him on here. We'll just talk about like his rock stories because the dude is legendary. He's been with Metallica, all kinds of crazy photos. So I was like, I don't know much about the story, but I met Ross, messaged him, went through his people over there.
Yep.
I'm very old school. Like we in Death Punch, as big as we are, we all run our own Instagram pages and Facebook pages. So I was like, oh, like he's got a person running that. And then, I was like, oh, that's an old school vibe. And then I said, well, let's, if he's not wanting to do it, and I just wanted to talk about the stories, I went in and was reading the story that Jeremy's going to tell us about here.
Well, dude,
and I was
even without talking to Jeremy, I was so inspired by Jeremy's fight. So we got Jeremy, the singer of Broken Hope, with us right now.
Yep.
And he's joining us on Beardo and Weirdo. Jeremy, we got to go through some of the details. This all starts with a friendship with Ross Halfin. Where did you befriend Ross Halfin?
I think it was around 2010 in Australia. My wife and I went to Australia to get married.
Nice.
We went to Sydney, and at the time, Lamb of God were opening for Metallica.
I was there. That was the end of the Death Magnetic tour.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
They did two shows. So yeah, my wife and I were at the two shows they did. So at the time, I've been friends with some of the Lamb of God guys for a while, and then their sound man is actually their Lamb of God's longtime tour manager and sound man. So
okay,
he hooked my wife and I up with those two shows. And so it was backstage at one of those shows that I got to meet Ross Halfin for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a book out called Ultimate Metallica, I think, a photo book.
Okay.
And he had done, as you guys know, I think, Chris, you guys opened for Metallica, and so you, Craig, I believe. So
yeah, I did a show once.
Metallica in New York. They'll do a show on a Friday, day off, and then play the same city on a Sunday.
Yep.
So there's a day off in between, and Ross had a photo exhibit at a gallery in Sydney. So we went to that gallery thing. We met him the night before. We went to his exhibit, bought a couple of prints there, and basically that's where I first met Ross and connected with him.
And you are such a music fan that you collect paraphernalia. You are.
It's called memorabilia, Craig.
Yeah.
Paraphernalia is a whole different thing.
Well, I have paraphernalia at my house, but memorabilia. You've been collecting for years. Different like, who are your favorite bands that you've collected stuff from?
Like there's certain things I collect because they have a personal connection to me for some reason. So for example, I remember years ago I bought a few of Jeff Hanneman from Slayer's guitars. And, people were coming out of the woodwork trying to sell me all these guitars of different bands and stuff. And it's like I don't collect guitars just to have a bunch of guitars or famous people's guitars. They got to have a meaning to me emotionally, like really connect with me. So Jeff was a huge inspiration to me, musically and lyrically. And then my favorite band of all time, despite being in a death metal band, I don't listen to death metal 24/7. I have very eclectic taste. So my favorite band of all time is 1970s era Leonard Skinner.
I love this.
Yeah, that's my favorite band of all time. So
you've been collecting Skynyrd stuff for years.
So Skinner is a band that I collect all 70s era related stuff. So
which takes you to Ross and where this story starts to take a dark turn.
Right. Yep, exactly. So after I first met Ross, years went on, and I did business with him. I bought all kinds of prints of different bands, different musicians. either for myself, for my own collection, like shots Ross did at Jeff Hanneman, some shots he did at Paul Gray, Slipknot, rest in peace, who I was friends with, and some other ones. So yeah, Ross and I have been doing business for a long time, and his company, Ross Halfin Photography Limited, whenever I bought legitimate prints, I'd always get an invoice from RHP Limited. And fast forward to 2017, I'm at this dinner that Ross is at, and we get on the subject of bands and his archives and stuff. And I'm like, if you ever find, or have you ever shot Leonard Skinner in the 70s? I asked him that. And he said, yeah, I did. Somewhere in my archives, I've got stuff. I'm like, if you ever find anything you took as Skinner in the 70s, let me know about the look and buy prints like I did before. So I told him that at that dinner, and then I sent him an email sometime later, nudging him to dig in his archives, and I'd make it worth his while. So
this is where it gets crazy.
But next thing I know, he hits me up and sends me one email saying, I've got these prints that I found are from my old negatives and stuff like that. And he made up a story of, where he was when he took the photos and whatnot. And he did the same thing with more Skinner images.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, is that Jeremy, because he sent me court documents where Ross admitted in court, those weren't my photos.
Oh my. But
there is sworn testimony from a guy, and I love this aspect of the story, from a guy who is a self-proclaimed Lynyrd Skynyrd historian and expert, which is another way of saying this guy is a nerd. He is a nerd when it comes to Skynyrd. And my God, it is the nerds that end up saving the world.
Yeah.
How did you be? And I'm sorry, I forgot the gentleman's name. It's what is the gentleman's name?
Ian Monk.
Ian Monk.
Okay.
And Ian Monk and you become friends at some point, right?
Yes. Interestingly enough, this involves Ross Halfin too. There's a publisher in the UK who, for whatever reason, keeps pumping out Ross Halfin photo books all the time.
Okay.
And they're called Rufus Publications.
Okay.
And they were doing a book that was all 70s era Skinner photo book.
Okay.
Compiled by none other than Ross Halfin, and a guy who was hired as a consultant to make sure, accuracy and context went along with each image. So like, you want to make sure you have the right date, the venue name correct, who took the photo, that kind of thing. So that gentleman, Ian Monk, that consultant and Skinner expert, Skinner nerd guy, he hit me up and he's like, dude, you got this amazing Skinner museum with all these artifacts and things that are remarkable. Would you mind contributing to this book about Lynyrd Skynyrd that Ross Halfin's compiled photographers for? And we'd like to use pictures of your memorabilia, high-res images that we can use as eye candy throughout the book. So right away, I hit it off with Ian, and I said, I'd be happy to contribute photos. When I send you some sample shots of stuff around my 70s era Skynyrd museum, and you can tell me what you're looking for specifically, and I'll send you high-res photos of each.
Here comes the bomb going off.
So as soon as I sent them some sample images of the walls of the museum and some other up-close pictures, and Ian hit me up after I sent them those sample shots. He goes, dude.
Anytime it starts off with dude,
anytime
you know some shit's coming.
Yep.
Where'd you get that print? I can't quite make out the signature. Again, it was in the background, a little fuzzy.
Right.
Well, I go, Ross Halfin. And he goes, we're talking through Facebook Messenger, by the way.
And he's the nerd. He's the expert.
Ian's over in Scotland. And he got back to me. He goes,
it's crap.
I'm looking into something here. Do me a favor, take a close up.
Oh no!
And the signature, and I did. As soon as I sent them that, I heard back from him fairly quickly, and he's like, hey mate, Craig, you could do it better.
Yeah, except my impression of him sounds like Ozzy. You got fucked.
I basically said, hey mate, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but you've been ripped off. And so
you're sitting on a phony.
My good friend Barry Plummer got ripped off.
Ooh.
Ian and Barry are really good friends, and Ian's the one who worked with Barry to get his images used in that Skinner book that I mentioned.
And Barry is the actual
and Rufus Publications. Barry's the actual photographer
who took the photos that Ross is passing off as his own.
Right. So I had bought 4 prints from Ross that have been hanging in that museum since 2018.
And spent how much?
$7,300 total.
Oh,
on 4 prints.
For the 4 prints.
Craig, I knew I should have been playing death metal.
Barry Plummer should have gotten that money. Those were his images, and
Ooh.
guys in his 80s and ill health, from what I understand, and can barely afford to feed his cats and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
I'm going to give Barry some of that money from the
settlement.
The settlement.
Yeah, which, by the way, the settlement after Ross admitted guilt, the settlement was $63,000. Is that how much it was?
Just over $61,000.
$61,000.
Now, what does that entail? What's with the settlement? Prints were $7,000. How does that number come about?
Legal fees.
There's a whole breakdown. But before we get there, because I got to tell you what led up to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Real quick. So once I found out I'd been defrauded, I spent the last quarter of 2023, 3 months, October, November, December, combing through every email I had with Ross, every text message we ever text each other, that we ever had, WhatsApp messages, voice memos, emails, you name it, just gathering evidence and gathering everything and establishing a timeline. So when January 2024 rolled around, I had a Himalayan mountain of evidence, and I had everything Ian Monk had said. As you saw, he made a statement with investigators, so did Barry Plummer.
Yep.
So all this stuff, and I wrote up a legal letter with my lawyers and revised it a few times, and then we sent that to Ross.
By the way, if I can just
Ross Halfin photography.
Jeremy, if we can just pause for 1 second
Sure.
before you get to the legal aspect of it to pursue him legally. Are you just contacting him to say, "Hey, man, I'm being told that this is not yours"? Are you trying to just like settle it man to man before you get the law involved?
No, I got the law involved because when I spent the 3 months, Craig, seeing all the email exchanges and messages and also the wire fraud. He didn't deal with this company. He had me wired girlfriend under the table. This is a guy who, like totally betrayed me after being
Absolutely
super loyal to him. And he had a real opportunity at the beginning. That letter I sent was one part legal, one part, being cool guy to guy kind of thing, saying, my lawyer's on copy here. So this is my archivist. And I found out you ripped me off this image, and I broke down each image and, where it was taken. And he didn't even write down the correct dates and found out later. Because anytime I get a signed print, I want the original photographer's signature, and then I want them to put, what date it was taken and where.
Right.
So when I frame it, it tells a story. So that said, my email to him just basically broke down each image, showing that taken by Barry Plummer. This is what you told me, quoting his emails where he made up stories and all that stuff. And I said, mind you, I didn't charge him for custom framing, shipping, anything. I didn't even ask for the full amount, $7,300. I said, if you pay me back $7,000,
Wow.
money, or we could work it out some other way, let me know. But whatever you do, you have to reply to all so that my lawyer's on copy.
And what was his first?
Don't go trying to get a hold of me personally.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
I don't trust you at all. You're a bad person.
So what was his first response?
Well, that's the thing. He didn't respond.
Total avoidance.
He's got, he's got a partner at Ross Halfin Photography Limited, a partner named Wilf Wright, who I think also manages him, and Wilf's been around a while. I know Wilf worked with UFO, I think, as a tour manager or something back in the day. And anyway, him and Ross are really tight and have that company together and everything. So Wilf Wright's the one who actually responded and asked me to give him a phone call and wanted to verify my number's still the same and things like that. And wanted to work things out. And I didn't respond. I just gave that to my lawyers because I didn't want to, again, deal with these guys on the side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trust, zero faith, zero confidence, anything in these guys, you know. And
so what is the next step from there? How soon do you just take that turn into like, all right, we got to go to court?
Well, my lawyers sent, I think, between the U.S., I have lawyers in the U.K. as well. So
good for you.
Sent his law firms, you know, numerous messages asking questions and, you know, wanting a proper response from Ross. And
still no response.
Nothing. So I didn't even file my lawsuit until, you know, later.
Wow.
In the year, October. He didn't get it served until a year ago this month.
And guess where he got served?
At a Metallica show.
No. At a Metallica
on
wedding.
his way to a wedding. Not at the wedding, but on his way to Kirk Hammett's wedding.
Yeah. Woo.
At the hotel.
At the hotel.
Not at the wedding.
Now, were pictures of him receiving this? Were any picture taken? Because I want those.
By Barry Plummer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So you finally, he's not responding. There's so many levels of this that I don't understand.
Yeah.
Why did Ross do it? Why did he avoid when he's being contacted and being told, hey, this isn't legit. I'm finding out that this isn't legit. Everything he's doing at that point is just avoidance. Before he gets to the stage of admission in court, I just don't understand why he's doing this. So he gets served, and then you start with the court proceedings, and he continues to not respond in court.
Oh my!
Right. All the gameplay between filing the lawsuit and getting him served, he had to finally lawyer up and actually do something instead of avoiding us. So through his lawyers, the first thing they tried was saying that, you know, basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but basically we were told by his legal team that, you know, too late, too bad. You should have done something about it in 2018.
Wow.
Got away with it. And that's when my lawyers, who are all fantastic, are like, no, you're wrong. There's no statute of limitations on fraud. On the moment of discovery, it's on. So from there, the settlement offers started coming in, and they were really insulting, and they always came with an NDA, and I was not going to sign an NDA.
That's beautiful. Smart.
Mission here wasn't about the money at all. When I first emailed them that email I told you about, where I made it really easy for him to get away, I'm kind of glad that did happen, because once I got to know Barry Plummer a little bit and this other unnamed photographer, there's 3 victims here: myself, photographer Barry Plummer, and an unnamed photographer that Ross ripped off. As things went along, I was glad I dug my heels in, because I started thinking, I'm doing this for Barry Plummer, this unnamed photographer, and for photographers out there and collectors and fans buying stuff.
Sure.
You know? might be getting ripped off, and maybe through the same scheme I got ripped off through by wiring, Ross's quote unquote girlfriend to her account under the table, and not legitimately through his company. I had a lot of trust in that guy. So anyway, all that said, I really wanted to see justice done. I wasn't going to sign an NDA, dug my heels in. At one point, it got to this back and forth settlement offer, refusal settlement offer. I was asked through Halfin's legal team, what are my demands? And my demands are real simple. I want to be paid back for the fraudulent prints. I want my legal fees covered. And I would like a written apology from Ross Halfin and an explanation why he thought he could do this to someone who had given him a ton of business for over a decade. We admired his work. I was a legit fan of Ross Halfin's. Growing up, when I had plaster walls with all the heavy metal bands, I always paid attention to the photo credits, right? And a lot of Halfin photos are there. So it was sort of a case like, don't meet your heroes, and also you can't, unfortunately, trust everybody. That's what I learned. So one of my demands, again, asking for an apology and an explanation, a couple of days went by after I turned those in, and I was told Ross is not going to pay you anything, and he's never going to apologize to you. That's what I was told straight up. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep going. And then when he finally, at the hearing before the trial, when he pled liable to all the accusations in my complaint that's on public record, that first broke, this last year when that became public knowledge, the hearing, that's the hearing where Ross pled liable and guilty and under oath in open court. Because I think by then, he must have spent more on his defense team's retainers.
Wow.
Yes, than anybody owed me, and I think maybe at that point he gave in and admitted, okay, I'm guilty and liable. And him and his team knew his case was indefensible between all the hard evidence, Barry Plummer's statement, Ian Monk's written and signed statement, all the reports from my investigation team and more, the case was indefensible. I was cross-examined in court, and all it was the cross-examination was Halfin's phone records and his defense attorney going, you see, is that your number? Is that your number? Is that your number? And all it was 2 calls and texts that supposedly was Ross trying to reach me to work things out. But
Jeremy, when you hear that he's admitting guilt in court, did it surprise you at that moment after all this time of just trying to say, hey man, you did something wrong here. Can we do something about this? And it takes so long to even get a response. Were you surprised? How did you feel when he admitted it?
This time I wasn't really surprised. Some other things had come to light that showed what I would call, or my lawyers would call, a pattern of fraud with some other people. I got to a point where between hearing some backstories from people that have known Ross a long time, longer than me, and again, going through those emails I told you about, and just, reading his tone, if you will, with me, I was just like, no, I'm not surprised that this guy pulled this off. And the way he did it would to such a detail. And this is coming from my legal teams and investigators. And I share this opinion, but with the way this is conducted and whatnot, it's like, many believe this isn't his first rodeo. This is like something he just came up with. Yeah.
So was there a reason given as to like how was this intentionally defrauded, or did he think the shots were his and sold as such?
No, Chris, it was all intentional from the very beginning. The made up stories Ross gave me of where he was when he was shooting Skinner and whatnot.
Yeah.
And this is
had I done the math, I would have realized how old Ross Halfin would have been. 75, 76, 74.
How old would he have been at that point?
What's that?
How old would he have been at that point?
Like 17.
Okay.
Wow.
And he said in written interviews and video interviews, he didn't start professionally shooting till like late 76. He left Wimbledon College to become a photographer.
Ooh, that's a hell of an investigation.
But these admissions are admissions he made in court. He admitted to the fraud, admitted to the deception in court, which is just crazy to me. I can't understand why a guy who is considered in that industry to be at the top of his game.
Oh, yeah.
He has been traveling for decades with the biggest rock bands in the world.
Oh, yeah. And fans like me and Jeremy putting those posters on our wall. I know Ross's name for forever ago from having posters of his up on the wall as well.
What is it that makes someone who is that successful take advantage? And I'm going by what he said in court, to take advantage of someone like Jeremy, who comes along and is a fan of music and says, hey, if you can find this, I'll give you money for it. And he goes, you know what? Yeah, give me money. Here, I'll give you this. What possesses a guy to do that? There's been stories over the years where I knew a guy who was a guitar tech for a massive, massive rock band. And he had a drug problem he developed on the road, as many of us do. And the band paid for him to go into rehab. Don't worry about it. We'll cover everything. You get healthy. And they replaced him for the time being while he was in rehab. He gets out and they're like, you got your job back. We want you to be healthy and happy. Great. And then somewhere along the road, the wheels come off and nobody knows, but it starts getting bad and worse. And the guy he's a guitar tech. He starts contacting the guitar companies that provide those guitars. And he goes, hey, you know what? He wants 8 of these guitars and 10 of these guitars. And like, okay, cool. What venue do you want to send it to? You know what? Just send it to my house. And he starts, and he starts getting those guitars.
Yeah.
And like,
it's going to come out.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna talk.
And that's how Jeff Hanneman's guitar ended up in Jeremy's house. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But Jeremy,
I know that story though, Craig. I know that story.
Oh, do you really?
Oh, really?
Wow. Yeah, man. And I've seen it time and time again on the road where guys who have great jobs take risks where the payoff is so small,
right,
compared to what you're gonna lose.
Exactly, because not only, you're getting what, $7,300,
$7,300,
and in one instance, all credibility out the window. Everyone's questioning everything at that point. It takes a lifetime to build the respect and the prominence in that field to be exalted, and for one $7,300. It's crazy to me. Yeah. It takes forever to build up a reputation, and one instance to crush it.
Is that your opinion, that you think that, this has tainted his reputation, in your opinion? You think? Even
Jeremy was saying, he had developed this long relationship with them.
Yes.
Buying tons of prints, all this other stuff. And now it's like, he's not going to buy any more prints from that dude.
Well, Jeremy's the guy who actually got taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And my God, when I hear that Jeremy goes from being taken advantage of, and then of course, hey man, dude, let's fix this.
Yeah.
No response. And then Jeremy goes through the courts and he does what you got to do. And that is not an easy slog.
Right. Is it at some point, as that individual, is he feeling untouchable? Like, hey, I'm this guy. This guy's not going to come after me. And that's why he didn't respond. He's like, I'm not dealing with all that. This is beyond me.
Now,
step the fuck up when something like that happens. It would have saved so much money.
Jeremy, what do you have to say to anybody out there who's a fan, who's a collector? How can people protect themselves?
Make sure you always get a legit certificate of authenticity, a letter of provenance, all that. Get documentation that's legitimate for sure.
Did you get that with these items?
No, I have an email that I gave my lawyers that's from back in the fourth quarter of 2023, Craig, when I went through every email. And I remember this one email I took a screenshot of. In it, I asked Ross, do you provide any certificates of authenticity with these prints? And I bought posters from him as well, prints and posters. And he wrote back in all caps, yelling like, I don't deal in stupid COAs.
Red flag.
Like, you know.
Which, by the way, I think that is his regular speaking voice that he's known for. Is an all caps voice. Yeah.
See, I'm disappointed. I met him on the Metallica tour that we did. Yeah. And I was super excited. I was like, oh, Ross is going to be taking pictures of me today. I'm going to be getting on somebody's wall with Ross Halfin on there with my picture and his name on there.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you say that you were also in touch with one of the members of Metallica as well?
Kirk Hammond and I had a friendly relationship, I guess, for, I don't know, maybe the last 8 to 10 years, something like that.
Okay.
We're both horror kids.
Did you, did you let him know what you were going through?
Yeah, he knew, and others in his circle knew, and, you know, his attitude, which I respect, is he's like, well, listen, man, I'm friends with Ross. I'm friends with you, and what's going on between you and Ross is your business. I don't want to be involved. He said, I'm sorry that you're going through this, bro, but left it at that, you know.
Because Jeremy also donated Metallica. Now, famous, if you're a fan of Metallica, you know this. Metallica has started this incredible charity. They've been raising money through this organization called All Within My Hands. They actually have done benefit shows where all the money goes to All Within My Hands. Jeremy, fan, has donated money over the years to All Within My Hands. He's been charitable with the band.
Mm-hmm.
And
the last thing I did was with Chris Broderick, ex-Megadeth and In Flames guitar player.
Sure.
Good friend of mine, great guy. He was selling two of his, these two Jackson Chris Broderick signature models that the money was going towards All Within My Hands. So nice. I did that, I think, about a year or so ago. Mm-hmm. So, between all Within My Hands and plus the, I don't know if you know about the donation I did to Cliff Burton family with all of Cliff's personal items that were up at that years ago.
What was the donation you made?
There was this auction that had all these personal items of Cliff Burton's. So there were like family photo albums and, you know, laminates of Cliff's, his parents, and items of clothing and all these other personal effects. And what happened is that stuff had gotten taken by Cliff's ex-girlfriend's now ex-husband, had taken all that stuff and put it up for auction. And I know a lot of people were in an uproar about it, from the Bay Area to whatever, Q Prime people, the Cliff Burton family foundation, everybody. But no one could legally, I guess, do anything about it. They were considered marital assets. So,
man,
wow.
I guess went in the auction, I bought everything that I could, and I gave it back to the family.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Man.
They're kind enough to do a post about it, thanking me. That's why, love Cliff over here.
Oh yeah.
He's my guy. Yep. And his family, his girlfriend he had, Corinne, at the time. I mean, those laminates and other things are, important.
Yeah, priceless and awesome that they were able to make it back.
The photo albums, for Christ's sakes.
All right, Jeremy, let's just get right to the point. How do we help you?
Well,
can I give you $7,000?
Speaking about all that, I'd like to know, like, what like Cliff Bernstein and Peter Mensch at Q Prime, and people in Metallica think about their longtime buddy Ross out there defrauding fans and hurting innocent people. And with me, not just a fan, but again, a guy who gave back to the Metallica family in very unique ways, I guess. So if they have a conscience, I'd like them to think about that. But other than that, just have me on Beardo and Weirdo, guys. It's been the first people I got to actually tell the story to.
Yeah, so, and again,
I appreciate you hitting me up and having me on.
Absolutely. And again, we did try to get Ross to come on, and Ross didn't come on, and the story is just mind blowing to me that a guy as successful as he is doing that, admitting it in court. I mean, I guess you have to credit the guy with making the admission,
right,
and saying. But
because there would have been more charges of lying in court at that point, so
yeah, and I guess
at least he realized, okay, now's the time to step up and be honest.
And Jeremy brings up the point of that it was starting to cost a lot of money at that point, too much money, more than yeah. So I'm sorry, Jeremy.
And Russ, it's on record. He violated the Illinois Consumer Fraud Act, and he's basically in contempt of court because he never showed up for his own trial, and the judge was not happy whatsoever.
So they had you in there testifying, but the guy who was committing this crime didn't.
But my lawyer didn't get to cross-examine Ross.
Yeah.
But,
I'm going to ask you a couple of dumb guy questions about Broken Hope because I don't know about Broken Hope.
That's right. You can thank Brian Slagle for Broken Hope. He's the one who signed us.
Love Brian Slagle.
Oh yeah.
And I love Brian too.
We tried to have Brian on the show, but we got crashed.
Messed it up by bringing a buddy. This dude named Kerry King. Come on, Brian.
Kerry King shows up and crashes Brian Slagle's interview on our show, and so
I saw that clip.
Yeah,
oh, nice.
So the whole thing was like, all right, well, so somebody else is here in the studio.
Yeah.
And by the way, our buddy Alex is in the studio right now. He goes, all right, Mister, let me go ahead and set up your microphone, and what is your name? And he goes, Kerry, and he's like, okay, how do you spell that? And he. Okay, and he's like, okay, all right, and then at some point we start saying something about Slayer, and then Alex's eyes opened up and he went, like, dude, what? So yeah, we love Brian Slager, but I wanted to ask you, how many people are in the band Broken Hope? Again, dumb guy question. How many guys are in the band?
Five guys.
5 members. Okay, I've always had this theory. When I was a kid, I used to manage bands and I used to book and promote shows from the time I was 15 until I was 23. And I would help out local bands in Arizona. And I noticed that every band had the same makeup, which was if there was 4 or 5 guys in the band, there was always one guy in the band that was a drug addict. One guy in the band always had his girlfriend with him. But there was always one guy and it was usually only one guy that would do whatever it takes. He'd be at Kinko's all night long making flyers. He'd be putting up, hammering flyers all over town on telephone poles. Are you that guy? You're that guy, right?
Craig, before he answers, the dude has spent $7,300 on prints.
Yeah.
$7,300. He's clearly doing some work.
There's no question in my mind.
I was Mr. DIY, Craig, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris,
and I admire that so much.
You're in the tape trading days.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, for Christ's sakes, we're demo tapes on cassette,
And on the road, are you also the guy that makes the agreements and takes the payments?
I deal with on the band level. It's kind of like being a tour manager.
I knew it.
Yeah,
and a babysitter at some point.
I knew it.
And then dealing with the booking agent.
Yeah. Sure Jeremy is Broken Hope's Zoltan.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Zoltan. Zoltan's the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Zoltan's the guy in
Mr. Business.
Yep, Mr. Business, and you're the guy in Broken Hope. Oh my God. There
are 3 founding members of Broken Hope. Joe Thiacek, our singer, he's no longer with us.
Okay.
And our drummer, Ryan Stanek, who's also no longer with us. I'm like the last founding father of Broken Hope.
There we go.
And the name Broken Hope actually came from a some dark poem that I wrote back in high school.
They're gonna say
Yep.
some dark poem that I wrote.
Name for a death metal band.
Yeah.
You know, and Chris, you
Yep.
know, it's not easy thinking up an original band name, period. And, you know, we didn't want to be like Cadaver or Vomit or something, you know.
Yeah, there's my old roommate in New York, Mitch Hedberg. I don't know if you know who Mitch Hedberg was, but Mitch had a joke about being in a death metal band, which he was in Phoenix for a minute. He was living in Arizona and he got in this band. He goes, "Yeah, man, I was in a I think he calls it a heavy metal. Did he call it death metal?" And he said, heavy metal bands have really hardcore names like Cannibal Corpse, but we weren't that heavy. We just said, good evening, we are injured. I always remember that joke when I think about death metal names and stuff like that. When are you going to be back on tour? Do you have plans to be on tour anytime soon?
Nothing aside from some tentative book tour dates. So outside of the band stuff, I'm actually a full-time published author.
Nice.
So I've got a novel called Wretch coming out in February. I'm going to be doing some dates at, you know, bookstores and stuff.
Beautiful.
Hey, when the book comes out, will you come back on with us to talk about the book?
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
And then between now and then, we can see what happens with this story and if it develops any further than this between now and then. But we'd love to have you come back on to talk about your book. Because I did, when I Googled you and looked up your background, I did see that you were a published author and that you'd done some interviews. And God, I mean, I have so many questions about that. Like, when people find out, they meet you, oh, you're a musician, oh, what kind of music do you play? What's the dumbest question you get when you say, I'm in a death metal band?
It's kind of like what they ask when they know you're a writer.
Yeah.
You'll be asked, how do you come up with your riffs?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know? I don't know. Maybe you're asked that too, Chris. Like, I don't know, where do you come up with your, you know, bass lines or Craig? Come up with your jokes, you know?
Oh yeah, I saved myself a couple.
Where do you get your ideas from?
Yeah,
I saved myself a couple days ago when this woman. It was 9:30 in the morning, and the woman sitting next to me. They said they go, oh, would you like anything to drink before we take off? And I go, I always get orange juice, no ice. And this older lady next to me goes, can I get a screwdriver? And
nice.
I go, yeah, sure. And she goes, and she looks at me and goes, so what do you do for a living? And I go, I'm unemployed. Conversation over.
Yeah, my favorite thing when people ask me, so what do you do? I'm in a band called Five Finger Death Punch. Five Finger Death Punch? You seem so nice.
Right.
Corey Taylor has the best line. I think I brought it up on this show before, but Corey Taylor has a line whenever people look at him because he's sitting in first class, like, what do you do for a living? And he goes, I won a contest.
I usually always go, I'm in finance. I'm in finance. Yep. You really? Yeah.
Do you have a go-to line when you just don't want to talk to somebody, Jeremy? If you're on a flight and people go, hey, so what do you do for a living?
Yeah, I'll be like, I do carpentry.
Yeah.
Nice. It seems to me when he does, yeah.
You know, Chris, I don't know if it's like this for you being in a band, but I've told people, like even baristas at Starbucks, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a musician and a writer. Oh, what you have albums out and books? It's like, yeah. And then they go, oh, great. Next time you're here, bring me some of your books and CDs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, where's the fucking support?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one time.
I have 1 million CDs and books laying around.
I went to go see, I think it was a comedian at the Hard Rock, the Joint, ages ago. I was upstairs at this table. It was like me and my girlfriend at the time, and then this older black guy and his girlfriend. And he's asking me like, so what do you do? It's like, I'm a musician. I'm in a band. He goes, oh, like, what's the name of the band? I said the name of the band, and he's like, well, we're putting on this show at the park coming up in a couple of weeks. Maybe we can you're local, so like maybe you can come in and play the show. Yeah. And I just like, check the just remember the name Five Finger Death Punch, plug it in, tell me what you think, and then get back to me. We'll see what we can do. So I just love the fact that like this guy is like trying to be awesome and like offer this gig opportunity to us
for free
and has no idea.
Yeah.
I was like, no, man, just check it out and get back to me, man.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Man, Jeremy, your story just it's incredible to me because there's so many levels to this. Everyone can relate to being shortchanged, not getting what you paid for, and then and feeling like, does anybody have my back? Is anyone going to help me with this? Is especially when the people aren't replying. Like, hey, I just realized you ripped me off, and then they don't reply. So the fact that you fought for as long as you did, I mean, this is outside of all of our comfort zones. Like, we all just know pretty much what we know how to do. We don't. It's like even comedians, like musicians, where it's always like, well, what am I supposed to get paid for this? I don't even know. Like, you learn as you go. But my God, the legal system, that is not in our wheelhouse, man.
Right. In a sense, Jeremy got justice for himself and justice for all.
Yes.
There's a clip. Clip it. I've been sitting on that one.
Chris, you asshole.
Either of you two know LA area photographer Stephanie Cabral?
Oh, yeah,
of course.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
So she's one of my dearest and longtime friends. And she is one of the first people I hit up when I left the courthouse after the trial. And in all caps, she had written, "And justice for all."
I love it. And that's the thing, too. Like, in the network of social media and everything, photographers are getting their pictures lifted and posted all over the place.
Yes.
And it's, I mean, I love the fact that Stephanie helped and stepped up and did the right thing for photographers and helped you along the way with the, getting that out there too, man. Yeah. Every opportunity to have money taken away and very few opportunities to actually make money, and to have something like that happen with, oh man.
It really is
one of their own to do it to them.
Yeah.
Like that gives photographers a bad name. That it doesn't get much worse.
Yeah. Life as a photographer is hard enough as it is to make a living.
I mean, yeah.
You
got, theft, violation of the Illinois Consumer Fraud Act, wire fraud, UK tax evasion, you name it. And then on top of it, it's like, oh, you also stole from your own.
Mm-hmm.
Kidding me? Like, it's unreal.
Yeah. A lifetime building up a reputation for something like that to take it down.
And it's not right. Someone like that shouldn't get away with it, period. I mean, it's not just something that I could shrug off. Someone like Barry Plummer.
I was just going to say Barry.
He doesn't have the money.
Yes.
He doesn't have the means or the energy. He's in his 80s. And again, he's from what I understand, I haven't met him in person, but from what I understand, he's in ill health. He gets some kind of pension, can barely feed his cats.
Dude,
that.
I looked up.
Right. Wrong.
I looked up Barry Plummer, and we should right here link to a website.
Absolutely.
For Barry Plummer's work, because I looked up Barry Plummer, and Barry Plummer was the Ross Halfin of the late 60s, early 70s. That dude's body of work, he had not only Skinnerd, he had Bowie. He's credited with having Hendrix, the first ever band photo of Susie and the Banshees. Like, he's got these really unique claims to fame that made him the guy of that early classic rock era that Ross took and sold to Jeremy for the $7,000 that he later admitted was not his, and that he had passed off Barry's work. So my God, that's a thing in stand-up comedy where, comedians are always like, there's that famous clip of Joe Rogan going on stage and confronting Carlos Mencia for stealing material. And dude, there's one famous comedian who, the first time we ever worked together, he said, "Oh yeah, man, you don't know that I choked out Carlos Mencia?" And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Dude, I was in the Comedy Store. There's 3 rooms in the Comedy Store. And on the ground floor is the big main room, which holds 350 people. And then there's the OR, the original room, which holds, I don't know, maybe 150, maybe. And so this guy's telling me he's on stage in the main room. And according to him, Carlos Mencia watches his set. And then it's time for him to go on in the OR. And he starts doing some of the jokes that he heard.
Oh, my.
And people catch the other guy as he walks off stage and goes, "Carlos is doing some of your jokes right now." And he waited for him and choked him out in the parking lot. Like, there's legendary stories.
I
There's
love that.
A really raucous comedy scene in Boston where comedians would literally just, in the moment, in real time, they would go, wait a minute, that's somebody else's joke. They wait for you to get off stage. They pull you in the green room and just start beating the shit out of
Nice.
you. Like, so, I mean.
We need to bring violence back again. Bring violence back again.
We are not encouraching violence. We're just saying.
I, Chris Kale, am advocating violence.
Chris Kale, not me.
Yeah.
Chris Kale. But my God, but I will say this, credit to Ross Halfin for admitting in court, hey, I passed off somebody else's work and took money for it. And I'm just fascinated by what is it that made him do that. I don't understand it. It will never not be fascinating to me. I hope this is the only incident with Ross, because if there's one more that comes to light, I mean, it's kind of like Jack in the Box had a E. coli outbreak. You work on that, and then if there's another, the business is over.
Let's hope this doesn't turn into a whack-a-mole.
Right. Let's hope so. But my God, Jeremy, where can people find your books and your music?
Sure. Everything's at Jeremy, JeremyX Wagner, Wagner, with either on social media with an @ or .com.
Dude, thank you so much for your time coming on and telling us the story. I had just heard about it. And then Chris hit me up the next day. Hey, did you hear about this? I'm like, man, I just read about that. And like, I know photographers are talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Photographers are blown away because obviously Ross is one of the best. So if you get in that line of work, he's clearly somebody whose work you look up to. So photographers are stunned. Why did he do it? Why is he taking advantage of somebody? And I hope that this is the only incident. But when you're ready to put out your next book, we'll bring you on and then maybe do a follow-up with what happened with this story.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
And absolutely fabulous finally meeting you. Running all the peripheral circles all these years and finally getting to see you here.
I am
a lot of mutual friends for sure.
Absolutely.
I am going to open my mind up to death metal because I've been inspired by the story of Jeremy Wagner. I want to hear what he does and what he's up to. Thank you, Jeremy.
And the offer still stands. Craig Gass on background vocals for the next Broken Hope.
Yep. I'll do my best.
Craig.
If I can get a Tracy Morgan screaming, I will do it.
The best thing about Craig is he is an impersonationist. He does a lot of impressions. So any voice that you want on there that's possibly ignored your email about coming on the record, just hire Craig.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
I'll work on my Ross Halfin impression. All right, you got it. How about if like the next Broken Hope album, the last track just fades out and it's like 120 seconds of just dead air, and then it's me doing Ross going, I'm not replying to this. Like, or just as Ross just going like, how about another picture for 3,500?
Yeah.
Like,
really, all you got to do is just have silence at the end.
Yeah, silence at the
That's
end.
it.
That's the Ross Halfin tribute.
Yeah, there you go.
Track 7 is just 3 minutes of dead air.
The
Ross
hidden
Halfin
hidden track of dead silence. Ross.
Why is the Ross Halfin track just nothing for 3.5 minutes?
It's going platinum after this episode.
Oh, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you. We'll catch you next time when your book is coming out, buddy.
Awesome. Craig, Chris, thanks again, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Man, what a story. Woo!